Hello everyone, welcome back. It is a new week, which means new stuff has come up. As you can see, I've already picked up the quest for us to increase our renown so we can continue the Covenant campaign. But before we do that, I think something important might be on the horizon here from Bolvar. Because we have saved Jaina, Bane, and Thrall. There's one left. Thanks to your efforts, Thrall, Jaina, Proudmoore, and Bane Bloodhoof are safe. Yet so long as the jailer holds any hero of Azeroth, I fear he has power over us all. It seems Anduin has been taken deeper into the tower than the others. Before I risk peering inside, you must make one last attempt to find him. You say the jailer spoke of honing a weapon. I fear we are running out of time. Do not relent. Search the twisting corridors of Torghast for any sign of the young lion. So this will give us access to the twisting corridors, which I've heard a couple things about. Nothing too concrete though, so I'm very interested in seeing how this goes.
High Lord, you have peered into Torghast and guided the Mawwalker through its torments. I beg you to look deeper, to find the king you once safeguarded as a boy.
What you ask poses a terrible risk to all of us.
Was Thrall supposed to say something there and I just missed it? Or did it bug or something?
Dromkar, let honor guide your path.
Okay. Let's head back to Torghast. So, a little update. I'm now up to 195. I got this from our raid night. It's not that great. Believe it or not, this is actually a better trinket. I'm only wearing it because of the item level. Trust me, I want to get the equivalent of 200 for this trinket because it's much better, especially for an Unholy Death Knight. So I'm basically just wearing this for item level's sake. I also found this from the auction house. It's one of those Dark Moon deck trinkets that you can get. So, again, item level. Same thing with my weapon, basically. So, it may not be the most optimal gear, for DPS and all that, but, some of us live in a world where item level is emphasized much more than it should be or needs to be. But that's just kind of the reality that some of us live in. Or sometimes we may have something that does more DPS, but if it's a lower item level, well, then we get passed up by somebody who has a higher item level. So, it's just the reality. So this will be interesting. I'm very curious about how this is going to go. Now, is it asking me to go into one of the 2 wings for this week? Also, that reminds me, I need to pick these up.
At your mind. Do not.
I will work on those later, so we can do the next portion of her rep stuff. Plus, while I'm here, I need to save some souls. But right now, Anduin is not in a great spot. I'm still wondering if this is actually going to trigger a cutscene. So it looks like we are going into the twisting corridors over here. I'm very curious about how this is going to go. Aha. Layer 1. I wonder if Twisting Corridors is like the harder version of Torghast. If this is harder, I may have to come back and do this on my blood DK. You know, or just switch to blood in order to do this. I don't know. This will be interesting. Let's do a little bit of buffing here. Flask and food. We'll get my Whelpling out. By the way, I'm basically still using the build that we use for the raid. This is basically was the recommended raid build. So. I'll take that. It's an epic one. Even though I don't really use Chains of Ice all that often. Let's see how hard this is. Okay, well, so far it doesn't seem that bad. I don't know, maybe I came in here expecting that this was going to be, like, much harder or something. By the way, you see that big AoE? That's the trinket. That's the one that drops from, if you want to know where I got it from, it's from Hungering Destroyer. Yeah, this right here. So that's the big AoE. It looks very much like the effect that he does in the raid battle. Like, on paper, it seems pretty nice, but numbers-wise, it's not really that as great as it possibly should be. Like, look at that. I do like that, the idea of that effect, but,
It's too far.
Ooh, yeah. Free cast of Soul Reaper. That seems pretty nice. Alright, there's the continuation over there. Stacking that, you can be able to get this on a very short cooldown. Which against certain enemies and bosses in this wing, it can be pretty nice. Oh! Silly me, I didn't free this one. I wonder if now in this new wing, if we are now going to get those cinematic cutscenes that I have been referring to. Now, at the time I was only referring to one. However, recently, like this week, another has been data mined. Which is interesting. Again, I'm really wanting to just wait and show them to you in the game until I talk about them and comment on them. if I can actually find them in the game. But I have a feeling this Twisting Corridors is going to be where that's going to now be a possibility. I've also been forgetting to use this. There's a number of my abilities I haven't been using. Oops. Alright. Army of the Dead! Damage or healed. I'll go with the heal. More damage is nice, but sometimes keeping yourself alive is more important. Okay. I did not handle that pretty well at all. Okay, those disorients were not fun. Doesn't look like there's anything extra on this side. Let's go see the other side. No, not that other side. Although I do have a quest for that this week, so I'll have to go do that. That should hopefully give me a nice big shield. There we go. Nope, nothing over here either. Not really. Alright, up the stairs we go. Alright. So, alright. I'm gonna wait here for a moment. Use these to give myself a nice shield. Alright. Now let's go get this guy. Yeah, I like that. Floor 3. Now usually this is kind of the break floor. Where it's like, okay, you get a break from the enemies, you get to find a broker. No. Ow, 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 ow. I don't know if my shell is countering that. I really don't know. Oh, this is basically the same place where I saw the cutscene with Sylvanas and the jailer. I guess because I saw them earlier, the idea is that we're going basically the same place, but perhaps trying to go even farther and deeper. Because if they were here, there's a good chance that Anduin could be here somewhere. Ah! I forgot about those things. I hate those things. Interesting boss.
For you, I offer only the finest. Remember, everything has value.
I heard some people actually use the other anima power thing to actually turn the broker into an anima cell. I guess because they could, but that sounds like a terrible idea. Reduce Army of the Dead's cooldown. Ooh, it could cause a cower. That could be great for interrupting some casts. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's do that. Nice little get out of jail free card, basically.
The brave, the mighty, the treacherous, all are bound here. Free.
Ow. That's one of the things I hate the most in Torghast, are the skeletons that just do that shrapnel. Oh, that hurts. And that is annoying to deal with. Alright, let's get our buddy out of here. In fact, this guy could actually be the clue we need.
You would make quite the suitable vessel.
So you're the Mawwalker? I expected you to be taller. These revolting husks chained me and took my war sword, though it pains me to say that I could use your help to get it back. I will help you.
Thank you, Mawwalker. I'm looking for my war sword. It's somewhere close by. I can sense it.
I wonder if this guy is going to be a new companion for my table. Which I think I need to take a break from using, because I seem to be struggling trying to get high levels of anima. Now, that's partly because, I haven't had that much free time to just do anima stuff these days. Not that much free time these days, a lot of hours working my job. Not that I'm complaining, because obviously it helps out with, expenses and, finances and all that, but when it comes to trying to, get some decent stuff done in WoW, well, that's where things get a little crazy and hectic, And like, oh gosh, like, when am I going to find time to do this? When am I going to do this? Oh, hey, look. Free Phantasma. And a free power. Increase the damage of my dot. Oh, by the way, the next wing for LFR is now up. The Reliquary of Opulence, which will have Sun King Salvation, Zymox, and the Council of Blood. I will, of course, be showing that in a separate video. Ooh, yes. More talents. My ghoul is even stronger. Now give me your health for my shield. Alright. Looks like his sword is right over here. Found your sword.
There it is. Thank you for your help. I can handle myself from here.
Nope, never mind. I wondered because he was clearly part of the, Maldraxxus, but nope. Behold my army! And my Magus of the Dead, which keeps casting. Alright. Causes the disease to occur more quickly for 5 seconds. Yeah, let's do that. This seems like a very standard, normal Torghast run.
It's too far away.
I say that having wondered whether or not it was going to be like any easier or any more difficult. I don't know. Oh my goodness, 8 bone shrapnel. I'm hoping my anti-magic shell just completely countered that. Because if so, that means it also healed me. That's what's great about my legendary. Get over here! Hope you guys haven't gotten tired of that. You know what's funny? You guys will probably find this a little ironic or hilarious, is I keep bringing up that reference, and yet I actually have not played the latest Mortal Kombat game yet. I know what happens. I've watched it, like, a playthrough and such of the story, because that's what I'm really interested in, is the story. I've never been much of a fighting game guy, and I know I'm not really that good, because I may at times enjoy some of the gameplay or the story mode of Mortal Kombat, or more rather the Injustice game that is basically the same thing because it's the same company. But when it comes to, like, actual fighting game stuff, I've never been good at it, and that's not really, the thing that I enjoy about it. I've tried it, and at times it's extremely frustrating because, well, I've just never been that good at it. Now, they've tried to actually make it more new player friendly, more accommodating, to really try and help out players get a better sense of what to do and, grow and be better at it, but still. Like, I have beaten MK9 and MK10, and beating MK9, for me, felt like a bit of an accomplishment because anyone who's played that story mode knows about the final boss, Shao Kahn, and how ridiculous of a boss that was. And the fact that I was able to pull off the basically required cheese strat in order to beat him because of how ridiculous of a boss he was. I don't know if I would say I was proud of that, like an accomplishment or anything. But it was just like, oh my gosh, I actually pulled it off. And I was just like, I'm so glad I can say I beat this and that I never have to do it again because screw that boss. Now, MK10's story mode, that was much nicer, much more accommodating. No real cheap encounters or anything like the Shao Kahn fight. And what you'll probably find funny, with me constantly referencing Scorpion with the "Get over here!" is that I wouldn't say Scorpion was one of the characters I really enjoyed playing as much as others. Don't worry, by the way, I'm not going to go into detail about what happens in MK11. Because I know it's still a relatively new game. And I, of course, wouldn't want to spoil what happens. But I do know what happens in the main story and in the DLC that happens afterwards. To which I say, I'm very happy for the actor who played Shang Tsung, in the movie. That he got to have a nice spotlight. I'm obviously not going to say what happens. But I was just really happy for him that he just got this big spotlight, especially because a number of fans absolutely loved him as Shang Tsung in the original Mortal Kombat movie. Which I can understand why when you look up clips of the movie. It was just like, oh my gosh, yes! Plus, he's a great actor. I'll go with this one. Not too happy about it, but I'll take it. Alright, what's going to happen on this floor? This is usually the boss floor. And I'm wondering, okay, is the boss here going to drop the clue and then we wait until next week to, find out more about where Anduin is? Look, I just want to find those cutscenes.
May I tempt you with my wares?
Alright. Yeah, people were using this right here on the brokers. Don't do that. That sounds like a terrible idea. I wouldn't even consider doing that on my own anyway. Just because I can doesn't mean I should.
You struck a hard bargain. Good shot.
I don't know what that guy casts.
Services for sale.
Fine, I'll get this. I'll get that. So I basically just buffed up my anti-magic zone here. And at my anti-magic shell. Synod. Alright, this will be interesting. Oh, look, that momentary fear from my death and decay. How nice was that? Alright, this should finish him. Finish him! Royal Ring. This ring looks like it could have been fit for a king. Bolvar might be interested in this. Why is it giving me this at the end? Wait, can I continue going higher? Well, I love this one. This is one of my favorite talents or abilities in here. Getting one of the horsemen here on my side. Apparently I can just keep going higher. Alright, let's get a horseman here to my side. Hey, Whitemane. Holy moly. I wonder how high this goes. Ooh, there's a treasure to my left. So this is interesting. This is the first time we've made it to a floor 7. Thank you, Whitemane. And that right there is one of the reasons why I love that horseman power. They have their own cooldowns in here to help me out. I love it. Also noticing I am getting already quite a few powers in here. Killing maw rats increases my health. Oh, I hate this one. This one takes me forever. Ah! Ooh. suppressor. Look at this thing. Immune to silence and interrupts. There we go. Let's keep stacking that. I guess I just keep going up. Huh. Well, I'm sure at this point you guys are like, oh my goodness, you know, just more Torghast stuff, right? So I'm probably just, I'm going to keep going because I honestly don't know at what point this ends, and I'm concerned I may miss a cutscene. So I'm just going to keep going forward until I see what happens or see if there's an ending point, because I honestly don't know. And if a cutscene triggers or plays, I'll try and catch it. So just hang in there. This either could be the end of the video, or this could be, just kind of a little break until I cut to the next important part. So, stay tuned. Oh, boy. Alright. Here we go. Okay. 18 floors. My goodness. But I pulled it off. I had a couple of deaths. I was a little careless, but oh boy, pulled it off. That's a huge chunk of time that I'm going to be cutting out of this video. Alright. Three clues. 1 per 6 floors. Huh. And that was just layer 1? Oh my goodness, I cannot imagine what it's gonna be like doing layer 8 in that. That seems like you have to get people who are like mythic level, you know, in terms of mythic rating gear, and a full group of 5 in order to pull that off. Cause, oh my goodness. I keep hoping. Now, I actually took a look at this add-on I have, which shows me all the different quests and such. Apparently the last one is the next one. Now, based on how this has been going, that won't happen until next week. But let's go ahead and see what happens when I turn this in. Maybe it might be nothing. Maybe it's just like, hey, good job for doing the required quest of going into Torghast. Alright.
I will aid you as best I can.
So I found this ring, I found this emblem, and I found this length of light-infused chain. 3 sure signs of Anduin's presence, yet no sign of him. This is dire news indeed. Okay, this might be the last one right here. The Captive King. You have done everything in your power to locate King Anduin inside Torghast. I fear that we could spend a lifetime searching those endless corridors to no avail. We must know what fate has befallen him. To peer into the tower represents a grave risk. Yet we have little choice. Stand with me, Nixuzad. Help me use the broken helm of domination to see into that hellish place. Perhaps together, we can hold back the hungry darkness. We're gonna use the helm of domination. Oh boy.
We all have our burdens to bear.
This is it! This is the cutscene!
I do hope you've settled in. The accommodations are a bit sparse, I know.
Where are the others? Are they safe?
Safe? No. I wouldn't say any of them are safe.
I am so tired of your games.
As you wish. No more secrets. No more lies. You are a weapon we will use to achieve our ends.
I will not become an instrument of death.
So you favor life? Is that it? That momentary flicker. Every cruel second spent delaying the inevitable in an endless war that you, like every Rin before you, will not survive. You know the truth. Nothing is fair. Not life, not death. So we're going to tear it all down.
And what purpose would that serve? Everyone suffers, Sylvanas. But destroying everything will not take away the pain.
Oh, you misunderstand. We're breaking a system that has always been flawed and remaking it into one that is just.
Do you expect me to believe that all this time, you've been fighting for justice?
How can I convince you? From our first breath to our last, every decision is made for us. Then, the afterlife decides what eternity we must endure. We can't even choose who we couldn't control anything. But through the jailer, control of our fate will at last be possible.
Look around you! At what and who you've joined. What makes you believe you're not just a weapon to achieve his ends?
You have a choice to consider. Join us willingly, or be made to serve.
I thought you believed in free will, Sylvanas.
We've never had free will, little lion. But that is about to change.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. I want to... Actually, I'm just going to do this. There we go. I'm going to turn the game audio down because I have to talk about that cutscene. I have been holding in talking about that cutscene for weeks, ever since I first saw people reacting to it. Because, of course, it got data mined and leaked, and people were going on and reacting to it. And many people have had many things to say about that. I watched that, and I have my own thoughts and, you know, reactions, I guess you could say, and oh my goodness. So first off, let me just say this. I've made it very clear. I've never liked Sylvanas as a character. Even going back to Warcraft 3, I didn't find anything about her character appealing. And it continued on in WoW. There was just nothing about her character that I... Okay, maybe not nothing. I may be a little harsh there. But she was just not the type of character that appealed to me, that I thought was likable. Plus, she would do things for her selfish means of revenge and such at the expense of whoever got in her way. And if innocent casualties died in the way, so be it. They were just weaklings in my way of my vengeance, you know? And I tend not to like characters that do stuff like that. So, yeah. And then it just kind of kept going on. You know, that wasn't just up until Wrath. That kept going through Kata, through, in Pandaria and Warlords. And hey, even Legion when she became the War Chief. And then, of course, we know what she did in BFA. However, there are a couple things about Sylvanas in this cutscene I love. First off, can we give amazing credit to the people who work on these cutscenes? Because I don't know about you, but this cutscene opened my eyes to how far they have come when it comes to the facial animations in these cutscenes. Because, oh my gosh, you watch Sylvanas' face. Just go back and rewatch that cutscene and just watch Sylvanas' face. That was amazing. It looked so good. Her facial animations were amazing. That's one of the best looking facial animations in a cutscene I've ever seen. So good. The other thing, now I may not like Sylvanas' character, but her voice actress, oh my goodness, I love her. She is so good. She is such a good voice actress. And there are moments in that cutscene she really shines at how good of a voice actress she is. Wow. Now, with that being said, let's now talk about what actually happened in that cutscene. So, first off, I think Sylvanas actually went very genuine there. in that cutscene. We've seen Sylvanas be extremely sarcastic and just very dismissive, and we can basically tell at this point when she is basically spewing what she wants us to hear and not really, just talking around it, dancing around it. We've heard her do this before. We know what she's like in that regard. And so we can tell, because we've seen that so much from her, we can tell when she just drops it and goes, no, okay, I'm going to be very serious and genuine with you right now. And that's exactly what she did right there with Anduin. She at first is just kind of like, oh, hello, are you feeling comfortable here? And he of course is wanting to know, he doesn't know that we've freed the other three. Now, I think Sylvanas knows, and she's not necessarily, and I think Sylvanas was kind of being a little playful there when she says, no, I don't think any of them are safe. Because, that can be a number of things that she's implying in regards to these people of the Arbiter. She could be referring to that. She could be referring to the fact that she thinks that this is not a safe place for us because of what the plans they have in store. She's like, well, they may be safe at Oribos for now, but not for long, not once we're through. There's a number of things she could mean from that. But she's not going to tell him, oh yeah, they're already free. So, because why would she tell him that? And of course, I love that Anduin just immediately goes to something that many of us have, those of us who do not like Sylvanas, have been saying for a while, like, oh my gosh, I'm so so sick and tired of your games and your lies and your secrets and your manipulations and just, oh my gosh, I'm so sick of it. You've been doing this forever. And she's like, okay, fine. She doesn't bring the shield down that he's in, but she does remove the change, which is kind of okay. And just goes, all right, no more secrets, no more lies. I'll just tell you what our motivations are and what we're planning to do. And it's interesting, the motivation she's explaining, that she believes the way that they are doing things here in Oribos, in the Shadowlands, with the Arbiter and such, the way they are determining the afterlives, that it is flawed, that it doesn't work, it is not fair, it is not just, so they're going to tear it down and I guess put up a new one that she considers to be fair and just. Or at least that's what she thinks is going to happen. It's funny how Anduin's just like, oh, it's not going to make the pain go away. She's like, oh, no. You misunderstood. Stan, that's not what this is about. Not at all. But I like that when she's like, oh, we're going to put one that is just. And he's like, and I like that he just laughs at the very idea. Because in that moment, I'm sure he's thinking to himself about all the things Sylvanas has done to this point, including Teldrassil and many of the other things that she has done in the past that were not very good. And the things that she did that caused some innocent people to die along the way, and she didn't give a crap about. And he's just thinking about all the crap she's done. And he's like, yeah, are you telling me that this whole time, everything that you've been doing has been for good reason? Who do you think you are? Illidan? And I've mentioned this before, and I've told people this. If they try and turn Sylvanas into Illidan, I may vomit. Because Sylvanas is not Illidan. Blizz, don't you try and attempt to make her Illidan. That is not the same thing, and you know it. And nobody can talk me into it or convince me otherwise. There's no way you can be able to spin it or convince me that they can make Sylvanas into another Illidan here. But I like that her next immediate thing is she doesn't come back with a retort or anything. She just sighs like she sounds like she's a little frustrated. And she just genuinely asks him, how can I convince you that what I'm trying to tell you here is genuine, is real? And I like how she does try to, paint the picture about how this whole afterlife thing goes down. And then she stops herself for a moment when she's like, we can't even choose who we... And she stops herself. And I like that moment. And I know a lot of other people did too, because based on what I have found out, I actually did not know about this until people were discussing this cutscene. This was news to me. Apparently, this may have been in a short story I may have missed. I haven't read everything, so forgive me. I'm not the best. I'm not Nobble the Noble. I'm not the lore runner. I don't know all of the Warcraft lore. I tried to, but I don't know all of it. But apparently, from what I've been hearing, before she had Arthas, Death Knight Arthas, overrun Quel'Thalas in Warcraft 3 during her time as a Ranger General, when she was just Sylvanas Windrunner of the High Elves. Remember where Silvermoon and Quel'Thalas are located. Just to remind you. Just to give you a bit of a visual aid here. Let's go back to Azeroth. Let's look at the Eastern Kingdoms. So, Silvermoon and Quel'Thalas, up here. This is where Sylvanas, and we know that Sylvanas' place, Windrunner Spire, is over here in the Ghostlands. What's not too far from there? The Eastern Plaguelands. And what's in the Eastern Plaguelands? Maris Stead. If you don't remember what that is, at the beginning of this playthrough, when we were going through the pre-patch content for the pre-launch stuff, there was a world quest here where we got to take on our good old buddy Nathanos Blightcaller. And during that world quest, when he was first attacked, he would then do an RP where he would be like, the heroes have finally found me. And at my own home. This was his home right here. Now, I don't know that much in terms of his life and story from when he was there. From what I've heard from what I recall, Lorthamar telling us back in the pre-patch after we took him down, he wasn't a great guy. Not really. He was kind of a bully. At least that's what Lorthamar told us. Which means and further reinforces that there was a history between Nathanos and the High Elves going back a while. And from what I understand, during this time, before Nathanos became an undead and before Sylvanas got turned into a banshee, the two of them actually were in love. They were a couple. Apparently, before Sylvanas was brought back as a banshee, she actually was in love with Nathanos. And here's something that unfortunately happened when she was brought back. And this is part of the cruelty of Death Knight Arthas, as I always try and reinforce. Not Arthas, but Death Knight Arthas. When he brought her back with only one emotion. Because the thing is, not all undead are capable of feeling all their emotions when they're brought back as undead. They're only able to keep like one emotion or two. Sylvanas was brought back with only one emotion. Rage. She had lost her ability to feel the emotion of love. Now, she kind of remembered, or at least tried to remember it, but she couldn't feel it anymore. She couldn't feel her love for Nathanos anymore. This was something that I was completely unaware of back in Legion and in BFA. Now, Nathanos has actually been around since vanilla. Obviously, so has Sylvanas. But this was something I did not know about. And knowing this now just kind of reopens, the perspective of how you see some of the interactions and such between Sylvanas and Nathanos. Because it's clear Nathanos remembered. How much Sylvanas could actually feel or remember, well, I'm not entirely sure how clear that is. But it just now makes more sense, doesn't it? That in that moment she cut herself off there because she was upset that she couldn't even choose, to be able to keep loving Nathanos. Which I will say is a little sad and touching when you think about it. And I've said this before, there are times where I do sympathize with Sylvanas. And I do feel bad for her sometimes. It's just a shame that she then does incredibly horrible things to innocent people. That kind of overrides me feeling bad for her at that point and go, well, you know what? you got me to stop feeling bad for you when you did those terrible things. Because that certainly doesn't help your case. And I can understand why she would see the jailer as a means to this end. This is the kind of thing she wants, and I don't think she fully realized that's what she could be capable of accomplishing until she learned about the jailer. And again, I find myself wondering, how far back did she learn about this and come up with this plan? Was this when she died at the end of Wrath? Between Wrath and Cataclysm, when she committed suicide after we defeated the Lich King, and she was like, well, I'm done. And she went to the Maw, and the Valkyrie pulled her back out. And then from Cataclysm onward, did she know and start planning this? Or was this something that she perhaps worked on later? I'm not really sure, timeline-wise, how that actually worked. I love that Anduin is like, look around you and, trying to get her to question whether or not working with the jailer is the best way to go about this. And when he says, what makes you think you're not just a weapon? Again, watch her face. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't bat an eyelash. No twitching. No looking like, maybe not. No, she doesn't even look away. Nothing. She just keeps on looking at him as if she's like, yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. And I find myself wondering why her trying to convince him to join willingly is so important, instead of just forcing him. Because she says, look, join us willingly or we'll just force you. Why does she have that? Now, I will say there is another cutscene that has been data mined this past week that actually is a follow-up to that. Again, I'm going to try and hold off until I can be able to actually show it to you guys on camera. But I really wanted to talk about that. Anduin may appear unharmed, but his soul is imperiled. Hold on, let me get the game audio back on. Okay. Sylvanas Windrunner cannot be allowed to carry out her plan.
That is all I can see.
Anduin? A weapon? What could she mean?
At least he's alive, and seemingly unharmed. Whatever the Banshee is after, he will not give in.
The light is strong with Anduin. I know his heart will see him through this.
Sylvanas was toying with him. She spoke of breaking everything. She couldn't mean that, could she?
I do not know. But we must be cautious, deliberate. The jailer's malevolence permeates everything in that tower. If he believes his prize is in jeopardy, he may decide to discard it.
Then we must remain patient. Mawwalker, continue your efforts to undermine the jailer's cause. When the time comes, we will find Anduin and bring him home.
Okay. So, there's something else I want to say about that, but I think it's actually best saved for when we do the follow-up cutscene, wherever that ends up being. Whenever I'm able to actually find that cutscene. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out in next week's quest. So, anyways. That took a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought, oh, okay, I'll just do this easy wing, and then we'll just go after that. Nope. That took longer than I thought, so if you'll excuse me, I now need to go do some off-camera stuff of doing stuff in the Maw, saving some souls, collecting some anima, so we can do the next chapter of the Maldraxxus Covenant campaign. Stay tuned.